Good afternoon, I'm James Brown. Cheryl is on special assignment today. The judge's statement followed back and forth between Democrats who do not think the hearing and its timing is correct and Republicans who are defending their decision and Judge Barrett's record. We have Team 7 coverage for you this afternoon. We're going to talk live with Cedarville University political science expert Dr. Mark Caleb Smith. You see him standing by live there. We'll chat with him in just a couple minutes about Ohio's impact in all this. But first, though, News Center 7's Blair Miller shows us what happened during the start of Barrett's confirmation hearings and when we could see some contentious moments.
The opening statements, as expected, mostly sticking to party lines. Today, no questions for the nominee.
As the process to replace Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg gets underway, Republicans and Democrats sticking to their sides and taking shots at the other.
Democratic senators view the court as a super legislature, as a policymaking body, as a body that will decree outcomes to the American people. Now, that vision of the court is something found nowhere in the Constitution.
I think this hearing is a sham. I think it shows real messed up priorities from the Republican Party. But I am here to do my job.
Republicans say nothing is wrong with the process, arguing it's constitutional to hold these hearings now despite the pushback. Democrats who've pushed for these hearings to be held after the presidential election focused on health care and the impact this appointment will have on the Affordable Care Act or on Roe v. Wade, which gives women the right to have an abortion. Today, we heard from the nominee herself. She talked about her upbringing and experience as a law clerk under the late Justice Antonin Scalia. In her opening remarks, she talked about his conservative influence, saying it was his reasoning that helped shape her.
His judicial philosophy was straightforward. A judge must apply the law as it is written, not as she wishes it were.
The real fireworks could come tomorrow when senators question the nominee. The hearings are expected to continue until Thursday. I'm Blair Miller for News Center 7.
Promise, Dr. Mark Caleb Smith joins us live. He is a political science expert and a professor at Cedarville University. Dr. Smith and I go way back numerous years. Long time no see, my friend. Glad to have you along today. You know, what were some of your big takeaways from today's hearing?
Yeah, it's interesting that this is taking place during a presidential election. Certainly the Democrats highlighted the political issues quite a lot. So they connected this to COVID-19. They tried to connect it to the Affordable Care Act. And it really kind of got dragged into the presidential campaign to some extent. For Republicans, they're trying to disconnect it from that as much as they can. They're trying to say, you know what, the election, the timing, those things should not be relevant here. The Senate's well within its power to do this, they argued, and it's perfectly proper for them to replace Ruth Bader Ginsburg. So a number of fireworks, but as you said, more to come when the candidate actually gets questioned.
Yeah, Dr. Smith, Barrett said she believed courts were not designed to solve every problem or right every wrong in our public life. Your thoughts, your feedback on that statement?
You know, it's a defensible statement, I think, but it certainly is controversial in this day and age. I mean, people think that the courts sort of have to address some issues that maybe we can't deal with very well politically. But her argument is, you know, the sensitive social matters, those really should be left up to the people and their elected representatives. The justices are there to apply the law. They're not there to take their own interests in the case. They're really there to just decide what's written and deal with it. And so I think it's a defensible philosophy, but it's certainly one that's politically explosive.
Indeed, and to interpret the law, she talked about. You know, what sort of impact could the next Supreme Court justice have here in the Buckeye States?
You know, in a very practical ways, the Democrats argued today with a relatively conservative majority on the court, things like the Affordable Care Act and things like Roe v. Wade will be brought before this court. And so there is the possibility the court might re-examine those things and maybe even strike some of them down. And so you have to really deal with the possibility that in some level things could change as a result of this appointment as well as the court moving forward.
All right, Dr. Smith live at Cedarville University this afternoon. Always good to see you, my friend. Of course, we will talk again.
Good to see you.
For soon, I'm sure. All right, take care.